Right. I'm about to live stream onto YouTube and then have the link available. I'm not planning to do this every class, but here it goes. Okay, so back to I'm gonna share screen again. Go back to where we were. So we were looking. So we started by looking at blockchain technology. And we saw that there were for any time 177,000 results. We're interested in probably more recent, but we see a lot of articles. We have figured out that is interested in the banking industry. And then I thought to myself, there's a lot of articles, and there might be what is called systematic review. So a systematic review, you can all Google it if you know what it is. But a systematic review is a paper that does a comprehensive overview on a topic. So we see here that there's a systematic review related to the energy sector, which is not our interest right now. We're looking for things, maybe anytime. We're looking for blockchain in finance. So this one is one. So blockchain in the financial sector, cited by 41 scholars, which means it's probably a good article. We see that there is blockchain as a disruptive technology for business, but this is not about banking. I would probably glance at this because it's 85 citations, but if you're not looking at it for business applications, if you're looking at it for business, actually have several, but there was current, this is quite old. So in 2016, there was a systematic review looking at what's the current research, and that article was cited by 1,337. So because we have so many citations, I probably read it. And there was another one on, there's this. There was one more that was on banking only that I saw earlier.
What year does recent research stop at?
Well, it actually depends on the topic. So let's just take how Google Scholar has it organized. So they have it organized that they have in the same year, the year before, and 4 years before that. Generally speaking, if it's a topic that people are writing about a lot in the last 3 to 5 years, it's typically considered recent. For example, things related to COVID are probably only recent in the last 6 months because there's so much being written about almost everything about COVID, not just vaccinations and treatment. So many things. In fact, let me just take 2 seconds and show you. So many things about are being written about COVID that COVID systematic reviews, I'm finding 61,000 systematic reviews. Let me just go to COVID studies. COVID, 332,000. There are more scholarly papers on COVID than on blockchain. Can you believe it? We just looked. So there's just so much. So it really depends. And there's some topics. Like I remember some years ago, some students wanted to look at why there are more, like the small amount of female undergraduate students who are studying computer science. And at the time we looked, a lot of the literature was older. So it really depends on the topic as to what is considered recent. So there's no one size fit all, but it generally speaking, you want to look for articles that are recent. Remember that depends on the topic. And you also want to look at what is called what do you call them? Landmark landmark articles. So let's go back to the blockchain topic. Blockchain banking. So let's keep our history here. And I want to go research. I saw one article I thought looks interesting. I mean, I don't know how interesting, but see, banking with blockchain and the big data. Maybe that's interesting. 87 citations. So I tend to open up the PDF, but it tends to open better than on the side. So I've opened it, and I'm just going to read the abstract. That's what I do all the time. So this article, here's the abstract. The abstract says, blockchain is disrupting the banking industry and contributing to the increased big data in banking. And there exists a gap in research and development in big data from an academic perspective. And this gap is expected to have a significant negative impact on the adoption and development of blockchain technology for banking. In the hope of motivating more active engagement by academic researchers and bankers alike, they present a comprehensive review, talk about the operational challenges from a banker's perspective. In addition, we also discuss the impact that big data from blockchain will have on banking data analytics and the importance of filtering and signal extracting for the banking industry. Whilst there's evidence of selected banks adopting blockchain technology in isolation or small groups, we find the need for extensive research and development into several aspects of banking blockchain to overcome the challenges that are currently hindering its adoption in banking across the globe. The point is, if you want to look at this, you would then need to read this article. That's probably a good overview. The thing about when the person was talking here, so it's now talking about opportunities, better way to know your customer. It has here improved transaction speeds, possibly enhanced security. I'm going to say possibly, I haven't read it. But all of these things probably have nothing. Cost reductions, I guess possibly. Everything. Smart contracts, I guess, with the customers. More transactions with more transparency, but there are challenges. Cost and standardization requirements. Apparently, there's a problem with that. Current stability. So I'm not surprised that it says here that bankers are not open to use Bitcoin as a currency for a lot of reasons. Security is a problem. Legislation, regulations are a problem. Scalability in terms of, to I guess other banks. And then there's a discussion of the, I guess, the pros and cons. And then they have a conclusion. And the point is, they're going to be several articles like this. And this particular article is, that's what it was called, Banking with Blockhead Big Data. And if I go back to what I had in mind back there, this was actually not a systematic review. That's one article. What I was saying earlier is that a systematic review might be useful. So in the financial services, an article published last year actually already has 41. So even though that might be good, rather very recent 2018, but so many things would have happened in blockchain and banking since. This article actually reviews many other articles. Now here's the problem. You notice right away that this abstract, you can't actually access the entire article. Only the abstract, you can read the abstract. But basically they looked at 227 articles and then decided that only 87 was worth reading, and then came up with 3 dimensions of classifying the articles: blockchain enabled financial benefits, challenges, and functionality. And for access to article, we see all of that. And that is why yesterday I said that it is useful to know how to use the services of the librarians, because there is all 4 versions online. So here are all 4 versions, but it's quite possible that every one of them we might actually not be able to access the entire article. It depends, I don't know. So it could be, I'm not sure if any of them is actually going to allow us to access the article. This one also doesn't know. The point is, this has 4 links, and it's quite possible that all 4 links does get us to the article. So this is where we then need to, if we want to find this article, we then either need to go to the UTech library and see if you can get access to the article to the UTech library, or email the faculty librarian to see if you can get access to the actual article. What a lot of work, because back to here, none of us, including me, is wanting to pay. Let me show you how much this article costs. This also curiosity. You ready? Oh, Steve, tell me the cost. I want to see what the cost of the article is. Usually these articles cost anywhere from 30 US to 100. Yes, that's a typical kind of cost of the article. See the cost right now? I'm not sure why I'm not seeing the cost. Usually, oh here, purchase PDF. There you go. Oh, this one is only 19.95. But the point is, none of us are willing to spend 20 US to view the article. It's not Sorry, anybody who here is actually happy to spend 20 US to read one little teeny article? Maybe I'm not talking to myself, am I?
No.
I don't hear anybody saying anything. Oh, Amari actually said something. He says his mic isn't working for some reason. He specializes in computer science and he's not sure what the topic would be yet. Now, the reason, so guys, let me go back to why I did a little look at the blockchain. The thing about it is a research project cannot be looking at the benefits of blockchain. If you had even said in a little more sophisticated manner that you're looking at the challenges and benefits, but that's what's called a research paper. We're not asking you to write a research paper. So some people were at class yesterday. Can anybody tell me and tell the class? I said that there were 3 different ways in which we use the word research. Can anybody tell us the 3 ways and the way that we're using research in this class? Don't all speak at once.
We're doing an empirical study.
Yeah, man, but we're no, but we're actually told that we're focusing on empirical study, but that's not first people here don't know what's an empirical study, and that's not how I define research. I want a definition of academic research. So academic research, one example is an empirical study, but that's not either a description or a definition. So like either. So while somebody's thinking of that, I'm going to point out that I said that research is often used as an adjective before the word paper. So as one of the assignments for this class, you guys are going to end up doing what is called a literature review, which is the same as a research paper. We're not talking about research papers right now. We're talking about figuring out a research study, of which one type of research study is an empirical study. So I'm still waiting. Spent quite a bit of time yesterday, not that much, maybe 3-4 minutes, talking about, maybe longer, talking about what is research. The Jenny is right. I did say that we're focusing on doing empirical studies. Well, I think we're waiting too long. Academic research, unlike everyday research is locating information or data or what else? Yeah, it's locating data or information for investigation. Academic research is a systematic approach to answering a research question or solving a problem. One type of academic research is an empirical study, and in an empirical study you take whether it is secondary or primary data. Secondary means somebody else collected it, primary means that you collected, you and your research team collected, and then you analyze that data to answer what's called the research questions. So what I was saying is, if somebody wants to know the benefits and the challenges of blockchain in banking, that is typically not considered a research study. Why? Because I already know. We just saw there are lots of articles that tell us the answers to that. Are you following me, Jada? So I'm not saying you couldn't do something on blockchain, but just listing the benefits of blockchain will be the beginning of you figuring out what the research topic is going to be about, but that's not going to be what the research topic is going to be.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so we're going to be spending a lot of time in class trying to explain, because everybody in here, unless you did, I think the only exception would be, I think there's some people who might have in CAPE done some research studies. I'll never forget when I taught IT, and students who were in IT actually had been introduced, as it turned out, properly to some research concepts, and I was surprised. Outside of that, typically, most people here have not been introduced to academic research before. So basically, this is a new thing, and basically we're teaching from scratch. It's a new paradigm. Okay, so we were at Jaden going through the list. Um, Jason, what's your major? What are you thinking of researching?
Alright. Hello, everybody. I'm Jason Allen. I'm currently doing a degree in animation, Bachelor of Science in Animation. As my fellow animation colleague said earlier, I'm not sure exactly what area I'm going to do, but it has to do with animation and basically the learning. Like how this degree is new, I want to see like how broad it's reaching in terms of Jamaican students. Either in university or high schools, because I
You
know that
wanted to
they're
know
implementing it
how
now.
animation can be used in education, or you want to know how successful
Yeah, how
animation
successful it is.
graduates are in the world of work? Is that what you're interested in?
Something along the lines of animation and how it's being implemented now that it's in Jamaica.
Just to let you know that that might be really early research. I mean, almost at the same time, University of the West Indies, Edna Manley College of Visual Arts, and University of Technology Jamaica all cited degrees in animation. They're all very relatively new. I think they literally started the same year on Zamra. And so there's not a lot of animation graduates, and I'm wondering, I mean, this couldn't be an interesting topic. It might be a difficult topic for you to research at this time. That's anyway, but we can always talk about it. But yeah, that's something that could be explored as a topic. But we'll
You
look at it. What's that, Jason?
can always revamp the wording or adjust the scope or something
And
like that.
it's not the wording I'm concerned about, it's the concept. Word,
Okay.
I'm always good at helping you to readjust the wording. I'm just thinking through the concept. But yes, we could look at that as a possible thing that's worth exploring. Certainly, it's worth exploring the perceived or actual success of animation on the Jamaican landscape. Uh, yes, so thank you, Jason. Olivia. Olivia Taylor.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Olivia Taylor. I'm currently majoring in information technology, specializing in networking. Um, well, I'd like to do a research on the effectiveness of augmented reality in the education sector. So, yes.
Okay. You're not the first person who have interest in that topic, but certainly something worth exploring. You may, if you want to explore that, you may want to decide, for example, is it university, high school, primary, and what subject? Do you have that in mind already? I mean, you don't have to say that today, but it will definitely need to be more focused on all of virtual reality in all of the education sector. But just letting you know, because otherwise it's going to be too broad. But certainly, you're the first person so far that has given a very clear topic. I mean, to be fair, Jason's topic actually is clear as well. It's just that Jason Allen's topic, I'm just thinking that there could be some challenges writing it up. But his topic is clear. So we have two clear topics. We have some other people with some really broad areas that they haven't figured out even a general topic. But yes, Olivia, certainly something worth exploring. By the way, as we're going through, everybody, please make a note listing to see if you think you're interested in what anybody else is interested in. So we're at Rahim. Rahim, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Rahim Bowen. I'm doing a major in information technology and minoring in multimedia. I'm saying in regards to the research that I want to explore. To be honest, I'm not sure. I haven't fleshed out anything, but I like coding and development. So I guess something within that realm. But again, I haven't really thought about it as yet in depth.
Rahim, did I meet you before?
I think ethics.
Oh, I know your name. Look, your name looks very familiar. So I'm looking at the name. Sorry, this thing. You need a picture. But I know your name look familiar. Okay. So what are you? Sorry, because somebody was just talking to me while you're talking. Are you enterprise systems or computer science?
No, multimedia.
Multimedia.
Yeah.
And you like programming?
Yeah, I actually like programming.
So
I
why
actually
did you
did
do
like
enterprise system or
enter.
computer science? Who knows? I leave that alone. And what did you say you wanted to research, Rahim?
Oh, I said I never fleshed out anything as yet, but because I
As
like
yet.
programming and stuff. Yeah. I'll think about it though. Yeah, obviously I have to think about
Think
it.
about it. I'm about to
Yeah.
put that fire on everybody in the class right now before we finish the class today. So on to, thank you, Rahim. Okay, so now we're at Shakia. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Please tell me how to pronounce it.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Saskia Milson.
Saskia. Wow.
Yes.
I'm sure I'm not the first person to not say it right.
No, you're not.
Exactly. Yes,
So,
go ahead. Saskia.
I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in computing, majoring in computer science. At the moment, I am not sure as to what I want to research as yet. But like Rahim, I am interested in anything that has to do with coding, because I actually love coding. But I'm going to think about it and get back to you.
Getting back to yourself, that's my explain. Okay, you're going to be getting back to yourself and then eventually to me. All right, Stefan.
Excuse me, Prof. Someone is asking to be let in the class. They dropped out.
Anybody? Hold on, let me just see participant. I didn't see any. Oh yes, waiting room. Yes, I'm letting the person back in. Thanks for
Thank
telling
you.
me.
Yeah, yes, Prof. Yes, Prof.
Go ahead. Yeah. Who's it? Who's talking?
Okay,
Stefan.
morning.
Yes.
Stefan Williams. I'm doing computer science. I'm not sure of a topic yet. Looking at something in computer aided education.
Are you interested in augmented reality like who was it, Olivia, or not necessarily?
Not sure yet. Might.
Not sure. All right. Yeah. So Odin, who just came back in, Odin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, miss. I'm one of them that's doing the computer network and security program as well. I'm thinking of majoring in cybersecurity. As it relates to what topic I want to research, I'm not really sure as it.
Within networking, don't know what they want to. Well, apart from this, I think the person who was into the cyber. Hold on, the person who was into the cyber, the blockchain, was that person a networking person?
No, come say.
Oh, come say. Okay. So we're at Tajay. Tajay? Ja? Something.
My name is J. Johnson. I major in computer science. But I'm not sure what I want to research as it.
I didn't give a proper chat last night. I read after the class. All right, Mr. Johnson. Not sure, Mr. Johnson. We're on to Tonian. Tonian Gardner. Tell us about yourself. Tonian is in a noisy background. I'm specializing in IT with a minor in networking. I've not decided on research topic. And we have Tonian Osborne. Tonian Osborne. We have two Tonians.
Hello. My name is Tonian Osborne and I am specializing in computer science, but I am not sure of what my research topic will be as yet.
Okay, so all right, so let's go back to yes, so you guys can see my screen, right? Oh wait, I know I did share screen. I go out to share screen. Right, you can share. You can see my screen. So yes, no. Somebody tell me.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. All right, so I'm going to close this screen. All right, so okay, I'm going to start here. So I personally, oh, did that team do it all? So I personally, one of my primary research interests is something called digital health. There are 4 million results. So by the way, for those who don't know, digital health has basically is a synonym for 2 other things. It's also often called health information technology or health informatics. It's basically where health and computing intersect. And so, for example, there are many different types of, so for example, I see things coming up here. So the digital health intervention systematic review. If I out of curiosity, I'm trying to show you how to do something. Let's put COVID-19. See what comes up. So even when I put in digital health intervention, as in interventions using computer systems, which include social media, health like apps, wearables, and the like, anything that's related to technology. And the systematic review papers and COVID-19, I'm still getting 60,000. That's quite a bit. So like here, there's an actual article written last year about the global experience of digital health intervention in COVID-19. Then we have here article about mental health problems in COVID-19, interventions with prevention detection. Because for those who don't know, there are lots of mental health challenges across the whole world. This is digital health, detection and management of COVID-19, digital health solutions to control COVID-19 pandemic. So clearly, there's a whole lot of research on that. Since this is my area, but this is even the interventions for diabetes. The point is there's a whole lot of research on this whole area. And since I'm going to start here, this is my personal area of interest. I'm going to ask the whole class, anybody, let's go back. Would you like, I want to spend not much time, a little time. Choose any area related to health and computers. What sub-area, anybody can talk or type, what sub-area would you like to look at? Would you like to look at COVID-19, and if in COVID-19, which part? Oh, anybody. So I'm going to use this as a teaching tool for where I want to go and teach how to do things, of what you need to learn for the class. So go, anybody.
Something genetic, I would call it genetic analysis. I don't know if that's a
genetic
thing.
analysis, but genetic analysis is not typically
like when you
what do
use,
you mean by genetics? But I'm just thinking
like when you use computers for like genomics sequencing.
Yeah, man, see here. For example, we got, I did a search, and we got genetics, and we got the case of 23andMe, as one of the commercial things with genetic testing. So there's actually an article on it. New medical cosmology. Where you want to go with this, by the way? I'm just kind of curious. Why are you interested in this? I mean, yeah. By the way, when I did biology, I actually found the genetics the most interesting part of biology for me personally when I did it before.
I'm not sure if I'm wording it right, but basically, taking or analyzing the genetic coding of say, the protein of the virus itself, and doing the analysis.
You actually want to look at the genetics of the COVID-19?
Yeah, like computers.
Oh, so you actually don't want to look at the genetics of humans. You actually want to look at COVID-19.
Yeah, right. Because I thought that's what you said. So that's
No. I didn't say we have to look at COVID-19. I said take anything to do with computers and health, I want anybody in the class to choose a topic. So you don't want to look at COVID-19. I'm not sure. Someone said you really want to look at the virus. I don't know. So I'm going to just put in the word genetic and see what happens, since I'm not sure what's going to turn up. So let's look. So I'm not surprised what's coming up. It's different what you're asking. So what's coming up with genetics is like, is COVID-19 having a different impact on people? Like, for example, look at this article. It's saying that there is, I'm not surprised by this, there are actually more people who are, like this in America, I know already, that people who are Black and Hispanic, etc., they're having a higher percentage of COVID cases. Is it because of their genetic makeup, or is it because that they're poor? That's what this article is about. I don't think it's what you wanted to know, I'm sure.
Oh no, no.
Who's talking? Since I can't see who's talking, please tell me.
It's Jaden.
Oh, Jaden still. This wasn't what you wanted to know, right? You actually wanted to know about the virus itself.
And how computers are used in
So you sort of wanted to do some kind of analysis. Right, that actually doesn't really sound like what I would normally typically call digital health. What? Okay, so you want to look at, sounds like you, I don't know, are you looking at the diagnosis, or you actually want to look at understanding the virus itself?
like
You see, the reason why I'm saying that, because you see, where I think you want to go is kind of outside the scope of all of us in the class.
well,
I say that
it's
because who here is studying biology. So if you're not, so I'm just wondering if you're, for example, if you're going to go with diagnosis, they are, let's go to COVID first. Let's just go with this. So the thing about it, let's look at this article. So this article is published Journal of Medical Sciences. I would just love to look at. So since 2020, let's look at COVID-19 thing. So we have this paper, we have this paper. I'm looking to see what else. Section on management of COVID.
So the reason why I was saying COVID and technology is I did bioinformatics, and there was like different technologies that we use to do different things. Of course, we didn't use all the technologies that are available currently in the industry, but there are, I know that there are computing is used to help in the analysis and finding solutions and stuff like that.
Not the most. I want to get a more recent article. So it's back to what we're talking about. This article was published. I just open one. This article was published in June 2020. That's more than a year ago. And given what's happening in the pandemic, I'd almost say like, so this is going to get into some AI that could be used, because this is 2 years in. This is, as in the pandemic was declared in March. 2 years in when somebody wrote this article. I probably, in fact, let me go to since this year. So let's go to this year and look at the articles. So I'm only looking at this year's articles, and we're only 6 months into this year, or is it 8 months technically? So I'm looking through the lessons learned. So I don't know. It's going to be difficult to see anything that I want to see this way specifically because of what you want to do. But I can see your interest and my interest not exactly the same. So I'm thinking, let's go back to this. So, like this one says, digital solutions to control the COVID pandemic in countries with high disease prevalence. This one says the application of digital health for use of artificial intelligence. Let's look at this because this is Nature. Nature is a high impact journal. So this was published February this year. So this tells us that let's see, a wide range of digital solutions have been proposed. The study aims to review applications of AI, telehealth, for those who don't know that, just basically means health from a distance, and other relevant health solutions for public health responses in basically fighting COVID-19. And they did what is called a systematic scope and review. And they find that there are various applications for telehealth and AI, big data analytics, but that there have been weaknesses in study design, as in that's how good the research has been designed according to these experts, highlighting the need for more pragmatic real-world investigations. There are few descriptions of applications for Internet of Things, digital platforms for communication, digital solutions for data management, and digital structure screening, representing gaps and opportunities for digital public health. Finally, the performance of digital health technology for operational applications related to population surveillance and ports of entry have not been adequately surveyed. Okay, so I want to use this abstract as a teaching point. No, we have not talked about the topic that's in this abstract, and I'm reading the abstract very fast. I don't know if I read it too fast for all of you, but here's the thing. The abstract is a summary of the article. Basically, what I've seen from glancing at the article for the first time in my life just now is that basically I'm not surprised that during COVID, people are using technology. And what I see right here is what I really most give you a list of things. But then they went on to actually, they looked at a number of articles and they're telling us that there was 99 of articles of 247 talked about that there's a lot of evidence for application of telehealth. That's not surprising because with the lockdown and the curfews, the like, and the physical distancing, people are staying at home. So it's not surprising that a lot of articles is saying that people are using telehealth. We went on to say that there are other things being utilized, AI, big data analytics, but they also say that there are problems in the research quality. Then they talk about some other things that everyone should know about. IoT, I'm not sure what they mean by this, but the networking people probably know what this is. I'm not sure. We'll all go and look this up. Digital solutions for data management. Maybe the ES enterprise system people would know what this is. I'm not 100% sure, but it's obviously also about databases. I'm not sure what this means. And obviously, each of them I could look them up if I was interested. This is an overview. But what I find interesting is this last sentence right here. It says the performance of digital health technology for operational applications related to population surveillance and ports of entry have not been adequately evaluated. I'm highlighting that for two reasons. So, for two reasons. One is, if you recall yesterday, I said in the lecture that there's an important concept called gap in literature. A gap in literature is something that there's not been a lot of research on. Or there are actually other ways of defining it, but that's the easiest way to define it. So one way in which you can have a gap in literature is that there's not a lot of research. Another way is that the research conflicts with each other. There are other things too. So they're saying specifically in this article that there are gaps. And they say exactly that one of the gaps here specifically is population surveillance and points of entry. No, any smart person in the class can either Google or tell me off to the head what they mean by population surveillance. Inviting the whole class to talk. What is population surveillance in the middle of COVID?
Tracking cases and stuff.
Exactly. So for years, people have been tracking cases. Even the Jamaican government, they have a class of diseases that they actually track. So when a physician, whether in the public sector or the private sector, sees people with, like, let's take Ebola. There are certain diseases, if people have them, that they actually have to report immediately to the Ministry of Health. And then there are others that are not required by law to be reported. So Jamaica actually has a surveillance system. Some that is required by law to be reported immediately, and others at some hospitals, the ministry takes every so often surveillance of those diseases to track it. So we actually have a surveillance system in Jamaica, but when you have contagious diseases, surveillance becomes obviously much more important. Not sure, guys? Everybody would have known because they've been following what's happening with COVID. And then, what are the points of entry? Since everybody has been paying attention to COVID, everybody can guess this one. Nobody can guess this one. But here's my guess. My guess for that is that this is about ports of entry or points of entry. As in Jamaica, what we really have is ports of entry because people enter our country through ports. But let's stick out the US. You know, people enter from Mexico and Canada, not through ports. They just enter through points. So since a big risk in COVID is people entering a region with a disease, very important to survey what's happening in the population and to see if the points or ports of entry actually affecting the number of cases. Yes? So this is saying that even though there are all these other things that have been researched, these two areas are not well researched. So for example, if there's anybody here in the class, I mean, there are other things that could be researched as well. I'm sure all of these areas have things that could be researched. Certainly, if you want to look at population surveillance, this would be a good topic. In fact, that leads me now to, I was going to bring this up to the major project groups. Here's something I think that we could do with, not exactly that surveillance exactly. So everybody here knows that just a couple of days ago, the vaccination for started for children, again, 12 to 18. I'm sure everybody knows that. Who here doesn't know that? Students are so quiet.
Can you repeat that?
So everybody here knows. Yes, you can go ahead. Oh, Christopher Morris said he can't focus. All the hearings, my fan. Really? Morris, all you can hear is the fan, you can't hear me. You can't hear me at all? Let me see if I can adjust the mic. Yes, I know that the fan is on. Maybe I can adjust the fan a little bit. But if I have on no fan, I'm really hot. Anyway, I've moved the fan, so now I'm hotter. You guys can't hear me? So I see, I was looking at the thing. I would suggest that if you're going to form a group, why don't you form a group and put the link in the chat?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
No, I don't see it in the chat. That way people can just click on the link and then they would add themselves.
Yes, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So
okay. So you still can't hear? I don't know. I've seen that. I was there responding to Neil. I don't know. I don't know if. Yeah, I know I'm very hot. I don't know if I can do class like this for every time because it's boiling hot in here. So, yeah. Let's see. Remember, I don't want to be called that. You guys missed my memo? You missed my memo, apparently. I'm going to repeat this. Let me just copy and paste my memo since people apparently did not get my memo, and I don't like. Right. So what I was saying is, I was saying earlier, to be serious now, everybody here must have heard that as of a couple of days ago, the vaccination for children 12 to 18 has started, right? Everybody knows that?
Yeah, heard it. Pfizer, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Pfizer. Since there is, I think it's a slightly bigger chance that if you take the AstraZeneca, as the younger you are, the chance of a blood clot is a little bit higher. I mean, sorry, that's why that they're actually asking the children to do the Pfizer, because it's the risk for a blood clot is less. Basically, that's really what it boils down to. Go back to the story. So I'm just saying, one of the things that could be surveyed, there are many kinds of things you can do surveillance on, and one of them could be tracking the progress of vaccinations. Another thing could be tracking the cases, or both. So certainly there is an opportunity to use computer systems to track surveillance of vaccination, surveillance of COVID cases. So my point is, the people in here who have no idea what to do, in the middle of COVID, you could certainly write up a research project that is related. So back to where I was going with this. So we're not going to look at this right now, but the point is this paper goes through and is giving us this current strength of the evidence. You have a nice little graph, and they're telling us the overview of where this is in COVID. And that's what they did. So we're not going to read it right now because that's not it. So my point is, since this year, there was 29,000 articles about digital health and COVID. And let me see if there's any systematic reviews. Out of curiosity. I didn't see anything right away on genetics. I guess we could go back and look. But if you want to look at that, you can certainly look at it yourself. I mean, fascinatingly, there actually is digital health solutions in low and middle income countries. For those who don't know, by the way, Jamaica is actually a middle income country. We're actually a high middle income country, meaning of the middle income countries, we're actually high. Anybody here did not know that? Which means that the rich people in Jamaica are so much that Jamaica is not very poor compared to the rest of the world. Guys, I don't want to be talking to myself. We have, I think, as much as 18 people here. Yes, 18 people here. Why is nobody saying anything when I talk? As far as I know, apart from, is he still here? Apart from Aiden, I don't see him. Jaden, sorry. Apart from Jaden who talks, everybody quiet.
Miss, you said something about middle income countries.
You didn't hear what I said?
No.
I said Jamaica is a upper middle income country officially as per the designation from the United Nations. I said, did anybody know that?
No, first I'm hearing that.
Oh, we didn't know that.
Yeah, man. So, for example, Jamaica almost lost aid for HIV medicine, HIV/AIDS medicine, because we are upper middle income. And by the way, Trinidad has a higher income than us. So Trinidad is actually upper. I mean, you could look it up. But Trinidad doesn't qualify for a whole bunch of kinds of aid because they are making more money than us. I guess because of their petroleum. So Jamaica is actually upper middle income. Don't forget, Jamaica has really big income inequity. So just because Jamaica is upper middle income doesn't mean that the typical Jamaica is rich. It just means that if you take all the income of every Jamaican in the country and divide it by the number of citizens, we are not one of the poorest countries in the world. So back to what I was saying, I was sharing the screen. I was just saying that, by the way, that's not part of this class. So if I go back to sharing the screen and go back to this, I was saying, isn't it interesting that, wait, where is it? Am I on the same article? Yes, I was saying right here, there's actually an article on digital health solutions for low and middle income countries. So the middle income is what Jamaica is. And this is looking at the current evidence. But the point is, this is obviously something that is topical. So you could decide to look at one subset of digital health if you're interested. And the point is, what would you do? You would you would need to decide which area. Because, for example, do you know you can't just look at mobile apps? So mobile applications or mobile apps is a subset. And if I go back to any time or since 2020, there is COVID-19 mobile apps. There's an article on that. And I'm sure there are many types. The point is, just digital health during COVID-19 is a big topic of which you would have to choose which area you want to focus on. And you have to choose that by actually reading some of the articles. So what I'm saying, when you're doing a search, you want to be looking at two types of things. You want to look at some articles that are highly cited, and as in that has a lot of citations, and you also want to look at recent articles. Yes? So for example, if I go back to, I tend to be interested in, if you go back to my interest in interventions, forget about mobile apps in particular. So I'm just going to anytime. So if I just want to say, I want to go COVID. So just go back to this area. If I go to this area in terms of systematic mobile apps, we can see that there's this article here about, oh, this is education for health professionals. I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in, let's go with my biggest area of interest is physical activity. So if I do that, you'll see that there are actual articles looking at how we can use digital health for making people move more. So there's a whole heap of articles just on that. So it's an article here. Mobile apps to promote physical activity in the workplace. There's actually some for computers for university students. So let's look exactly university students. I see here. So we're looking at, and if we took out systematic review, there's going to be more articles. But my point is, on any topic, there's lots of things to read. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be, say, look at this, for example, this particular article published this year is about using a web-based mindfulness, nutrition, physical activity platform for the health, looking at the health status of first-year university students, a protocol. The point is there are lots of articles on lots of things. And what I want everybody to do without exception before you come to class next week, I don't want to hear what topic you might be. I want to know that you've used Google Scholar for an hour or more looking at one or more topic that you start to read at the minimum, the abstracts. So let's go to my topic. So let's say I want to look at mobile. I wouldn't even have to know what it's called digital health. If I just had put in mobile apps, physical activity university students, I'm getting 91,000 results. So as I scroll through, Google Scholar is going to show me the ones that probably have the most citations in general. And I can look at the titles and say which one looks like the most interesting to me, and I would open a few of them, right? Then in addition to that, I would remember what my teachers told me. My teacher told me, why don't you put in systematic reviews? So I would put in systematic review and look at that and find, by the way, this protocol means that it hasn't been done yet. This is just how they're going to do it. But see one here, intention to use physical, I would read this one. I would look at this as well. It's actually 6 years old, but it had 407 citations. So I would read articles that are old if they have a lot of citations. I'm giving you the principle here. So I don't want to look at recent articles like this one. I would want to look at this, especially if I want to focus on young adults. So I'd read this one from 6 years ago because it has 407. And I also read this one because I'm looking at young adults, and this is a really good paper to look at. So the point is there are a lot of things to read. So you'll be looking at all the articles and newer articles. And what I want you to do for one or more topics, and then I want you to read it. So like this one, I would open it this way. So I'm opening this because this is my area of interest. I'm getting the PDF to open. And here we are. I'm going to read the article, the abstract. I read one before, so I won't read this one right now. I'm going to read it in the shortest way possible. I want to find out what this actually tells me. It tells me, it tells me at the end, the study provides modest evidence for using smartphone health programs to improve young adults' physical activity, weight control, body mass index. Further research is needed to understand long-term effects and reliability of it. So this basically says that there is modest, so like there's either small evidence, modest evidence, or a whole lot of evidence, which I call strong. So this says that there is modest evidence to use it for increasing young adults' physical activity, weight control, and BMI. So that's good news. So if we're thinking of doing this among young adults, say in university, this article says we have done a systematic review, which has, so let's go to the end of this article. You'll see that they actually refer to 35 articles. So for example, if it was I can't find articles on the topic, I now have a reference to 35 articles on the topic. So I now start to look through these articles to say, oh, I can't find articles I want, recent articles. Let's see the articles that this author decided to look at. And here are the articles here, right? So here are articles on this topic. So let's go back to my paper. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Based on those articles, how would we narrow down a topic for this? So we're reading the articles. How would we come up with a narrowed
Topic?
suitable topic.
Okay,
based
so
on what
let's take the physical activity. The article I just read said what? It says that there's some evidence that what I just read out loud. What you remember?
it says there's moderate evidence
For?
that smartphone and young people
To
some
do what?
benefit.
In which area? You forget? I'll open it. Oh, I closed it. Did I close it? Yeah, I closed it. Well, I can tell you from memory, what they actually said was specifically for physical activity, weight control and BMI, which BMI and weight control is almost the same thing. So they said that both physical activity and weight control. So for example, we could decide to do a study of, and it was on young adults. We could decide to look at either college students or young adults in Jamaica and see if physical activity or weight control would work in Jamaica. And this is how I would just bet just from that one systematic review. There is some evidence, in fact, there's moderate evidence that mobile phone apps can promote weight loss and physical activity among young adults. However, there seems to be a paucity. Paucity means that there's not much. We can look right now, so we can just take this out and let's put Jamaica. So is there anything in Jamaica? We don't know. There is this. So by the way, this is Damis with Marami who work at UTech. So this study, for example, actually is about this paper basically says that there's an interest among Jamaicans to wear fitness wearables. I don't think there's any published study. Let's see what this is. This is a long time ago. I'm not sure what this study said. Out of curiosity, I don't think I've ever seen this study. So this is another one. This might be in Jamaica. So find out. This one is about Map My Fitness, which is an app. So I wonder if this is Jamaica, New York, or Jamaica. You get to meet Jamaica, West Indies. This is in US, Map My Fitness. Yeah, I'm actually wondering. I'm going to suspect, it will take some time to find out if it's Jamaica. I suspect that this is all in the US. So who knows? But I don't want to look at it right now. But the point is, there's going to be a very limited. So another one here. This one is about the importance of having infrastructure like parks in order to increase physical activity in Jamaica. There is very little research published on increasing physical activity in Jamaica, despite the fact that Jamaica, by the way, I know this very well because it's my area of interest. We have physical activity is really poor in Jamaica. So we have low physical activity. There is this article that shows that people have interest in wearing fitness wearables. There's some evidence already that mobile apps work. So maybe we could use a combination of fitness wearables and mobile apps, or one or the other, to see if we could increase physical activity. You actually have to give a story. You need to read one or more articles in order to give stories. Does that, yes? My name is not Miss. Name is not Miss. Teach Sam, anything.
You said if you had like a topic, and we had a research topic.
Yes.
And we could find the answer in 2 or 3 articles. That you said it's not a good topic. If you can easily find the answer.
Yes.
So wouldn't that
okay, good. So let me good point, Christopher. I see you thinking. Let me share my screen again and let's go straight to let me we have enough time to show you what I mean. Let me just open Word. So here's my quick. Let's do it quickly. So I'm gonna close. I don't want to see this right now. Yes, I want to view this. So here's the thing. Here's it in a statement. So I'm going to write what I was just saying. So each of these things we can have citations. Let me just make this bigger so you'll see what I'm writing. So the thing about it is, no, in fact, I'm not going to write it in sentences. I'm going to write it in points. So I'm saying that there's low physical activity levels in the world, and in Jamaica. There is, what is it? What did they call it? Moderate evidence that mobile apps can improve physical activity. Yes? Let me take, before I go further, let me go back to my share. Let me just look for one more thing. Let's look at it a different way. I'm trying to make my point better. Developing countries. So I'm now looking now for this exact thing. I'm going further than Jamaica. I'm looking for in developing countries. As in, there are other words. So let's just go with developing countries or low and middle income, which is the same as developing. So now I'm going to look to see, and we can't do it fast. We want to see if there is evidence on smartphone activity in low and developing countries. No, I don't know if you're going to be. Let's look at this article. So this one, which is 147, I actually want to open it quickly, see if I can find what is in that article. So the thing about it, this is actually an old article, it's 5 years old. So the thing about it, let's see what the article says. So it's what I just said, physical activity is important to combat the rise in non-communicable diseases in many developing countries. And they're looking at a whole bunch of published studies, and they looked at 15 studies in these countries. The majority of studies demonstrated that they were effective in promoting physical activity and diets in developing countries. Future, here we go now about the gap. Future interventions should use more rigorous study designs, investigate the cost effectiveness and reach of intervention, focus on emerging technologies such as smartphone apps and wearable activity trackers, right? So here's where, now we need to find out if this is the most up-to-date, because this is 5 years old, right? Now the thing about it, based on I've read a lot, I doubt. So it could be that what we're trying to do, so I'm just going to go where I'm going with this. Can we come up with a research project with a rigorous study design, something looking at cost effectiveness, something like the reach, or for example, reach would include things like poor people, rural population, because by the way, these studies tend to be for young people, rich people, urban areas, not worrying about poor people, rural population. You understand why? So just because something works in urban among young people, don't mean it will work among poor, rural, elderly people. Yes, you getting where I'm going with this? Yes. So just because there are some studies, I bet you almost anything that if we decide to do a study in Jamaica among rural poor, and whether it's likely to be something that has not been researched in general, even not only in Jamaica, in developing countries. But in particular, you see the wearable activity trackers. Has there been studies looking at whether wearable activity trackers, as in like smartwatches, like the cheapest one, even the Fitbit is like the more expensive, if apps and wearable activities work. Now, this is an overview article, and it's old. It's 5 years old. So 5 years is really old. But my story here is back to what is called the gap. I'm saying, can we address any of these things in our article? It tends to be things like cost effectiveness, the study being long. So for example, I know because I've read many articles in the past, many studies show that in a few weeks, it makes a difference, but they don't do studies for a year to say whether that year makes a difference. And I know this because I've read many articles like this. But the point is you have to do some reading. You get where I'm going with this? Yes. So I'm saying that this list gives me this list here, so I'm just going to copy right into the article, into my notes. So I'm just taking notes right now. So my question is gaps in developing countries. Question mark. This is from a 2016 article. And if I go back, by the way, you all need to know how to you need to know how to do the citation. So if you go back to this article, everybody seeing me? You just press this little thing, and we'll all use APA. So we're going to copy this, and I'm going to press copy. And I just want to make sure that since I'm actually deciding, I haven't even reworded it, this is from this article. And then we look at this article, since this is on developing countries, it's a whole 147. And there's another one that's more, no, this is from 10 years ago. So this one is cited by 147, wow. And there's a more recent one, but this is going to be not just in, this is across the world though. Just-in-time adaptive interventions to promote physical activity. So no need to be reading more of them because I don't know if so much of them are going to be across the world. There's obesity prevention. There's this thing about, as you can see, but let's go back. Let's even look at this article. So this article is more recent, and let's look and see what this article says. So this article, back to, I went to the conclusion, research into just-in-time activity interventions to reduce the increase physical activity and reduce sedentary behavior is in its early stage. Decision makers need to be cautious in signposting patients to do these things until evidence is available. So apparently, whatever this thing is, which I never heard of before today, just-in-time adaptive interventions promote physical activity. There are some papers about it, but they looked and found 6 randomized controlled studies, and there is a lack of evidence about the cost effectiveness, uptake, reach, impact on health inequalities, and sustained engagement. So apparently this GITA is a flop right now. Not enough evidence to say it works. Because the other thing we could do, we could decide to compare GITAs and maybe some mobile app in Jamaica. I don't really know. I'm just looking for, you need to decide what makes sense. And the only way you can figure out what makes sense is you're going to be doing some reading. Yes? But back to my story, even if there is evidence that something works somewhere, it doesn't mean it's going to work everywhere. Because just think about it, just normally. Do you all think that giving tablets to children in Jamaica works the same across the whole country? No, let's just think just out loud, because the internet access is different, because the computer literacy of parents are different. The effectiveness of giving out tablets to children, even for free, is different in different parts of Jamaica. For those who don't know, it's same as medicines. Medicine actually don't even work the same in every population. Computer systems don't work the same in every group. So just because we can even read that something tends to work doesn't mean it works in your location. Hopefully I gave you an answer.
Yes, sir.
All right. So back to this now. I was outlining a little my thinking. So my thinking is here's a problem. There's a low level of physical activity in the world. There's some evidence that mobile apps can improve the physical activity. And so basically I want to investigate some kind of thing about, I want to investigate basically, maybe my research question might be I'm gonna write a tentative research question. So my research question very quickly is something like this. To what extent does mobile apps increase physical activity among rural? I could just not put rural, I could just put Jamaican. You see, the thing about it, in fact, let's just put among Jamaicans during the. I'm going to actually increase. I'm going to add something. So I'm going to put this because guess what? Once I put in during the COVID-19 pandemic, if nobody has done research in Jamaica during COVID, we're actually answering a new research question, because whatever would have happened pre-pandemic, know that everybody's not being physically active, it's a whole new thing. because even how people responding to this situation is going to be different. So just by me adding this little thing means that I'm researching something that if it has never been researched pre-COVID-19 in Jamaica, then it makes it new. Then I have another question I want to know is I want to know something like which this is a different area. I'll write one more question. What is the technology acceptance of let's put it this way, and urban Jamaicans here. So let me, I could actually write a different way. I'm just making it up as I'm going on right now. Let's say I'm asking these two questions. Now we haven't even looked what this is, and I think I'm going to make sure I'm going to explain this in this class, not today. But I have two questions. So there's likely to be a difference in the level of acceptance, as in the interest, the intention to use, and the actual use of technology among. There's likely to be a difference in age groups, in location, etc. So I don't have to put this in there because I'm basically going to now look at this by different groups. I'm going to look at it rural versus urban. I want to look at, by age groups. I might want to look at male versus female, things like that, right? But there are likely to be differences. And just trust me at the moment, I can explain more in the future. These research questions are justified because not only is there not much research on, there actually is some research that shows that there is that. There were some, the other thing is we could, if we want to be really complicated, and this will make it hard, is the use of mobile apps cost effective? I'm going to what they said. There are very few studies that actually go about cost effective to increase. So if I did this, it actually makes the study actually a whole lot harder. So if I put this, is the use of mobile apps cost effective to increase physical activity? To increase the level of physical activities among Jamaicans during this cost effectiveness is not normally done in many other studies. An easier question would just is the use of it, does it actually lead to an increase? Once we want to look at things like cost effectiveness and long-term effectiveness, and that's a kind of study that will usually would meet a gap in the literature. But the point is, next time, and I'm talking about people could even do that study that I have there. So I have no problem with people writing that up. I've not written it up enough. I want everybody to come next class. I'm going to stop the share again. So, okay, so let me just copy this chat. That Raheem, everybody has joined the group for the class?
No, miss.
Why not? You don't want to be in the group?
No, that's not the reason. Because I'm using my laptop, not have to type out the link one by one so we can get access to it. Because I don't have WhatsApp on my laptop.
And you didn't copy you don't copy the chat. You don't copy the chat either?
If I can copy in the chat, I don't think I can copy in the chat.
You can take a, what you can do is your banger you have, sorry, a basic phone? You have a basic phone or a smartphone? Because if you have a smart, no, not how big it is. Do you have a phone that has email on it?
No, miss, that's why I say yes, it's a smartphone.
Good. So if everybody here have a smartphone, take the thing in the chat and email it to yourself so that you can open it and then you just click on the link when you go on your smartphone later or right now. Goodness gracious, my guys, I wouldn't expect nobody in the class to be having me to tell you that. So you don't have to do it the second, but please, please do that. So I'm still wondering, so nobody, so what are you guys waiting for? Anyway, I would suggest, I know you can do it on the web too. I personally don't use WhatsApp on the web because I'm not a fan of WhatsApp, but I am regrettably on the WhatsApp anyway, but not with students. Right, so here was my aim for the class, which I basically spent, what time is it now? Yeah, man, it's time to finish in a few seconds. My aim for the class is two things: to show you how, beginning to show you how to use Google Scholar, which I did. As in, here's what I wanted to do. Let's go again. The things I wanted to learn to do in Google Scholar include to do basic searches, to check the time, to know how to find the citation, to notice that how many places is cited. That usually stuff on the right where you have this PDF might be the easiest way. I haven't gone to the stuff with the UTech library. I'll do that next time. To notice that there are many citations, that you can look at more articles on the topic by that. That's what I was showing you today. And I did it by saying, let's look at some topics. So we looked at blockchain and we looked at, I guess, some areas of digital health. And I'm saying that everybody, bar none, needs to find a topic and start to look, because by week 3, we want individually or in groups people to be working on a project. And that means that you need to start to write up. So let me come out of this again, stop share. No, let me just, it should be right here. So let's go to dashboard, my classes. Let's log back in. You guys seeing this, right? So if I go to this class, you see the screen, right? Is that a yes? Hello?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Yeah, it's all finished. Yeah. Right. So if you go through here now, where am I? Right. So you notice that there is actually a tutorial reference and there's the slides. So you can look at this sample concept paper all by next class. And this reference material is some YouTube videos I'm opening so you can see. Can't tell me you never know about it. Here, videos to read. Everybody must by next week. The sooner the better. Start using Google Scholar. Read books. I give you a whole heap of videos that you can watch. Yeah. So right. So you have lots of things to do. Any questions? Because I am basically finished. Because really, what's the next thing for you to do is for you to think and start doing reading. I won't call it research. I call it investigation. You do reading so you can figure out a good research topic. And what's going to happen in the class time is you're going to use the class as a workshop. That's where you can get feedback as to how to figure out if your topic, how to refine it, how to improve it, so it's going to be ready. So don't worry about doing anything perfect. Just do work and then you come here to get feedback. And I guess by next week, sometime by the end of this week, I'll figure out when my office hours are or my consultation. I haven't figured it out yet. But if you have some urgent matter, you can email me. My email is on the website. Esmure is at UTech is my official email. I said that I don't have anybody giving me a, and then my other email is, oh, Jaden is back in the waiting room. Sorry about that, Jaden. And then my other email is skitpapers@gmail.com. Right. Any questions, guys? Is there anybody puzzled as to what to do? Because what I'm basically saying is do some work, do some reading, do some thinking. So, for example, I heard a lot of people in animation and security just went as broad as animation and security. You're going to have I don't even know how to tell you how to narrow from that because that's really big. So like you almost need to go to a textbook and now figure out all the topics in your areas. Same for the people who just tell me they love programming. 'Cause you have to program something. So you have to figure out one or more things that you're interested in and start to do some reading in the scholarly literature on the topic. Yes? So that you can figure out what are the gaps worth researching. So you have to do some reading and brainstorming. And you can do that in groups. The groups can be no larger than 5. So if you want to start a group right away from this class, can be cross class. You can start groups right away. Is this everybody here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wasn't there more people? Oh, yes, there are. It's just that, why is this? Trying to figure out how to, oh, this thing can't. This is interesting. I'm trying to figure out how do I view oh, I can't. I'm trying to, I guess I can't. I'm trying to figure out how do I view everybody who's in the class at one time. Look as if that's not so easy to do. So anybody has any questions? No questions? So everybody's clear as to what I'm asking you to do for next time? Please, if it's not clear, please speak up.
Yes, so these topics are individual topics, right?
Well, okay. You're going to have an assignment. If you look at the course outline, in fact, let me open the course outline. Let me see, go back to, where is it now? Is it this? No, this, I don't even know where I am anymore. I'm looking now for where this is. Oh, here it is. All right, so I'm going to share about my screen. Share screen, where is the share screen? Option. Sorry, I'm going to just share my screen for a reason. Share screen again. All right, so let's go back to this. All right, so you see that if you go back up, I want to make sure everybody can find it. Under the course schedule, I probably should put it somewhere, repeat it so people can say they have an excuse that they didn't see it. But in the course schedule, you not only have the course, the plan for the class, you also have the concept paper. So this concept paper is the first assignment, which we're going to be talking about both in class and in lecture. So this is actually can be done individually or in groups. I actually prefer if it's in groups. But if somebody really wants to do it by themselves, they can. So you have a project that is maximum 5 people. This is what you're doing. So what I'm going to be like helping you to learn how to do. So, but the point is, don't wait on somebody else in the class for you to start doing some reading for a research topic. Yes, no, maybe so. And so that paper is only going to be 3 pages, double space. So the thing about the first assignment, it's not about length, it's about quality of thinking and how to do it. Christopher, answer the question. I didn't answer your question. What else you want to know, Christopher?
You said that what we are learning now to do the research topic, that one is an individual thing?
No, this is not an individual topic. Individual topic is, I said I wanted everybody to go and do some research on a topic of their interest. That is with an aim for everybody to do what is called a concept paper. Concept paper is the first assignment. First draft of the assignment should be by week 3, which is in 2 weeks. Just doing some search on Google Scholar doesn't require that you do it in groups. But if you're going to be in groups anyway, you might as well start forming your groups to work on the project. Christopher, does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. I'm going to read what is on in the classroom, the material, just to
Right. So everybody, this is the kind of class that everybody should have read everything before you came to class. Like honestly, this is a challenging class. Everybody going to need to do a lot of reading. I hope you all heard the expression reading for your degree, but this is one of the courses that you're going to read for your degree. It's actually, in my strong opinion, a wonderful class that can help you to learn a lot and get you to be more knowledgeable in the area that you have interest in. All right, guys. I will see you next class, which is next week, Monday. Is it Monday we had the lecture? Or yesterday? Yesterday we had the lecture? It's all a blur right now. Yesterday, I think. I'll see you next week, Tuesday. If you have a burning question, send me an email. Have a good day. I need to go and get some lunch. I have another class in 2 hours, followed by another class, followed by another class, followed by a meeting. So have yourself a wonderful day. Take care now.